Good morning. Good morning. How we doing today? um, just wrapped up my 10 pages. Wrapped up my Bible study. Um, so now we gotta move on to the gym. So as you saw yesterday, I did. Here's the thing. I recorded day one, completed, uploaded it. I did day two, but the problem is that I didn't record day two. So in my mind as an L, so it's a reset day. It's crazy. Second day and I failed, but it's all right. We get back up and try again. But finished my 10 pages, finished getting ready, and yeah, today is leg and ab day. Ooh. Ooh. God. Here's the thing. I am a certified leg day skipper. All right. So, and I told myself I gotta stop being a bitch about it, and I gotta stop. You know, I can't keep skipping it. I can't do it. It's just not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to hit legs. It just has to happen. And I want a crazy chisel six pack. Like, I want a Greek god physique. You know what I'm saying? So, physique is not just from the waist up. It's the whole statue. So, it's gonna suck. I cannot remember the last time I hit legs. Uh, uh, but it should be good. I'm actually, you know what? I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, and look at that. My TP is, I can't even see. My TP is about to be hit. Look at that. And that, my friends, is how you start your day off on an elevated frequency. Hell yeah. But, all right, let's get this. Let's get this workout. So, slight dilemma. It's a slight dilemma. I decided that I'm not doing this workout without some level of caffeine in me. So, I try going to Starbucks, but I forget, God, that I literally live in Valencia, in the city that basically sleeps. And so, with that, comes a little dilemma. Normally in the and this is one thing I miss in the US, how early things should just be open, because Starbucks isn't open till like 7:30, 8 a.m. And it is what it is. I think it's good to slow down. I get it, but I am not hitting legs without caffeine. You got me bad. So yes, I will be getting my iced caramel macchiato with like 5, 7 shots of espressorino, because I don't know if you can hear the yelling in the back, but um, what is it today? Wednesday. So last night was Tuesday. That's crazy. So like around, like across from me, diagonal from me, there's this club, and I'm watching people come out, and it's like pushing 7 a.m. It's like 6:50, something like that. I don't forgot my watch at home. Right. But so I have a good bit of time. Essentially, I have a good bit of time. Um, that being said, though, I think that I think this is good. I think this could be a very positive thing, because it's forcing me to slow down. It's forcing me to take a step back, and it's nice to like slowly start like seeing people trickle out, start seeing people like start waking up, start seeing people like start to move around a little bit. It's nice, and it's a beautiful city. I can't even lie, but the culture here is so different. I said, you've heard of the city that never sleeps, but you've never heard of the city that fucking sleeps, and that's Valencia.
I think that's just the whole of Spain. I just wonder how anybody gets anything done here. Maybe I just haven't met the right people, but because I'm just looking like last night was Tuesday, it's Wednesday, and I'm seeing people walking out of a club, and I'm just like, dude, you sure? And I walked by because I was kind of curious. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got a little nosy. I just wanted to see what like people were talking about, and couple it was like a big group of dudes and maybe like a handful of women. And most of the dudes were just arguing amongst each other, like, "Hey, bro, like you definitely cock blocked me. Like, why'd you cock block me?" And I'm just like, "Damn." And then the dudes that were successful, were talking to the woman, and even now, you know. But it just occurred to me that that's truly like what anybody wants. And nobody sees a lot of like a massive group of people don't really see more for themselves. They don't see themselves as they can achieve more than just that. Go to a club, stay out all night. Hopefully, they get some, but if they don't get some, they get mad as hell, right? And it just makes you wonder, like, it just makes you think, dude, this is my competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my competition. Are you serious? This is who I'm competing against, dude. Come on, man. Because I don't want like simple pleasures. I don't want to like me personally. When I look at my life and what I want to achieve, like I do not want temporary pleasure. I want to build legacy. I don't want you know temporary fun. I want something that lasts. I want something everlasting. I don't want to temporary love. I want a marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like I want a wife. I want kids. I want a legacy. I want to build something. Most people hear that and they're like, "Well, you're so young. You should just have fun, have fun, have fun, have fun." But is that what's considered fun? Like truly and honestly, can we really think about it ourselves? Like you're stuffed in this tiny little room, listening to music you barely even like, can't even move, can't even like, with some you're rubbing shoulders with some sweaty random stranger that you don't even know who they are, and then before you know it's the next day. You spent 7 hours doing nothing. You could have been sleeping, could have been home. You paid for drinks that were mid as hell and were overpriced as hell, and then you have a headache. You're fucking hungover the next day. So my question is like, is that really like the end goal? Like, what's the point of that? Like, I just want to know, what is the point? You can't even remember the night, right? Most time. What's up, pigeon? Pigeons aren't real. I'm convinced that they aren't. I'm playing, but oh, oh. And that's another thing. You end up embarrassing yourself. I just watched these two girls just fight over the bouncer. And what's worse is that like that like that's not gonna go anywhere, right? It's just sad when you look around. You just take a moment when you know that you don't want what everyone else wants, and you want more for yourself. And you just look around. And you're just like, at least for me, like I like to be in a state of fast. For example, like I don't like to eat breakfast. And the culture here is you wake up, it's considered early is like 9 a.m. and I'm just like, what? That's early? It's late, bro. What are we talking about? And then you have your little bocadillo, and then you have your little bread, and then you have your croissant, and then you have this, and you have your donut, and that's considered breakfast. I'm like, oh my god, that's so unbearably unhealthy. What are we talking about? That's breakfast, and then they eat again a few hours later, and they have like 5 meals a day of like carb heavy meals, and I'm just like, what are we doing, dude? Like, where's the you have your little coffee in the morning, but I don't know. Like it's just obviously the way of life is different here. The culture's different. People's goals are different, right? What people want out of life is different. But I believe that there is a collective, right? I truly believe that collectively we kind of want the same things. We want safety, we want security, we want love, we want a future, we want a legacy, we want to have a home. Why? And I look at the people that go to clubs and shit, and I don't think that I'm better than them. I don't think that I'm better than anybody. But I look at them and I just think to myself, is all you do, don't you want, like, instead of searching for temporary safety, temporary happiness, temporary, love, wouldn't you want to find something eternal that is like you can say that you built, that is yours? Then again, like, it could that also be asking for too much, considering how much we devolved as a society? I don't know. All I know is that you can really only put God first, and He'll put you in the right places and surround you with the right people. But damn, when when you choose to be when you choose to isolate yourself from the world, it gets start noticing things, start picking up on things, and start to think, start to think on your own. And I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful. But man, do I really want this Starbucks because I want to be able to get to this workout, man. Yes, like I said, I'm going to get this iced caramel macchiato with 7. All right, maybe not 7. 7 might be pushing it. You know, yesterday I had iced caramel macchiato with 5 shots of espressorino, and that was just like the sweet spot. I ain't even gonna lie, like, I felt my workout was yesterday was back and by. Man, that pump yesterday, I'm still sore from it yesterday, man. That pump yesterday was just delicioso. Good, man, boy. Let me tell you. I don't know, man. Sometimes you really just need a nice, bicep pump, and everything makes the world makes sense again. The world just makes sense again. But I don't know. I'm really not looking forward to this workout. I'm like, a part of me is kind of grateful that, like, Starbucks is over, so I can get my pre-workerino. It has to be done. I said I was gonna do it. I said I was gonna do it, so therefore it has to be done. And if I don't do it, my subconscious mind is gonna be like, oh, so you say things and we don't do them. We don't actually mean them. You're not a man of your word. So that's gonna start reflecting, start bouncing that off. In the world of forms, in the world of mirrors, that's gonna be reflected back on you. You can be a massive talker, but you're not a doer. You're not a I don't know. That could be happening, but I got a book in my bag. I'm gonna be reading that, and yeah, let's get this shit.
Bag secured. Now it's time for the gym sesh. Cheers. So we're at the gym. Yeah, this music is loud as shit. Um, we're at the gym, and I've getting here. I realized that shit is on. It is. Sorry. I've encountered another problem or potential problem. She'll talk to you as I warm up. My phone's on 15%. So there's that. You know, this could be a potential problem. You know, for obvious reasons. And I'm wired the fuck in, and I'm also tweaking the fuck out in this bitch. The dude at Starbucks, he looked at me so strange when I said 6 shots of espresso. 6 shots of espresso. He was just like, are you okay? I was like, oh, but that's none of your damn business. You know what I'm saying? So, also last night, before deciding, when I realized that, today is leg day arena, I decided to study last night on the art of legs, right? And who better to learn about legs than Tom Platz? If you don't know who that is, he is a Mr. Olympian, fucking goated, known as the godfather of leg day, essentially. And what I learned from him last night is essentially you don't really want to worry too much about the weight itself. You want to more worry about the quality of reps and how many reps. And failure. Failure has to be achieved. Right? Dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to stretch out and warm up my legs as much as possible. I know these bitches are about to hurt. And I gotta hurry up too because my phone's on like 10%. So there's that. Yeah, today is just a mess. It's just problem after problem, dilemma after dilemma. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm showing up and showing out. That's all that matters. Is that I'm consistent. Technically, today's day 3, but since yesterday I didn't record it, it doesn't count. You know what I'm saying? Because it's my word against yours. If it's not documented, it doesn't count. And so, yeah, technically it's reset day 1, or whatever. And you're probably wondering, Nico, why didn't you just record? Because it's actually I just got way too in my head about it. I got way too in my head about it, but today I woke up today and I realized I gotta stop giving a fuck about what other people think and the potentiality of being judged. So yeah. So let's stop fucking wasting time and let's get into this workout. Let's get it. I'm just gonna keep it a complete buck 13 with you. I have no idea where to put you, but I'm just trying to get straight. Also, I don't even know if socks and slides are like the most ideal for anyway, most ideal for leg day. But we're just gonna see. We're just gonna see what we're working with. See just how weak the legs are. I have very low expectations for today. I'm gonna give it a buck. I don't want to get. I don't want to do this. I really know. I really don't want to do this, dog. But if I learned anything from the goat himself, Tom, is low volume, high reps. If anybody wants to, give me a little pointers in the comments, that'd be fucking cool. That'd be pretty ideal. And I used to hit legs. What's crazy? When I first started going to the gym, I used to hit legs like every other day, like a crazy person. And now, I just, it's just not. That's just isn't being done.
you know. But it is what it is, you know. I think we're just gonna start with a bar. Not we're not gonna count this as the first set. It's just more so I just want to try to get my form and try to get like this. Oh my god! Now I remember why I fucking hated doing legs. It's squats. Jesus, my knees are popping. That's not a good sign. Hey, but at least we're getting depth. I can't get. You can't talk shit about my depth. All right, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I forget what's the most comfortable for this. Like, put the bar high on the trash, cause damn, that shit is uncomfortable as shit. I forgot how to do this shit, man. Anyway, start with 10 kilo. Nico, you're such a bitch. Nico, look at you doing low weights. Shut the fuck up. All right, fuck you. You know, I squatted. I think my all-time high was. I know this is gonna sound so pathetic. I think my all-time high was 225, and then I was just like, all right, I'm done. But it's just such baby numbers. But what are we at? 8? I don't even know. Oh, this is so pathetic. This is so pathetic. This is what happens when you skip legs, Nico. I should fuck up. I'm gonna wake up. Dude, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow so fucking sore. Nothing could have prepared. And, you know, I didn't think it would like be. In my head, I'm just like, oh, it could be that bad. I bike every day. And, you know, I go up hills and shit. It's just, like I said, nothing could have prepared me for this. Oh, no. Am I already getting a cramp? No way. Again, that's what happens when you skip legs. This is just the consequences of my own actions. Oh, God. Dude, I knew this day was coming. I knew the day was coming where I finally was going to be like, all right, I can't keep skipping legs. This is getting embarrassing. Nico, are you really using clips for just a 10 and a 5? Mind your fucking business. Okay? Mind your fucking business. Don't worry. I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to be pushing crazy weight. And you got no choice but to shut the fuck up. What do I know? All I know is training to failure, and I know that my legs are actually about to explode. But this is only my second set. Dude, this is not. It's not okay, bro. For some reason, my hamstrings are just like cramping up. Should I be worried? Should I not go up in weight? Stop being a bitch. I'm fucking stalling like a motherfucker, bro. Oh no. I don't fuck. Dude, it hurts already. It's cramping up. Yep. I think that's enough squats for now. I'm gonna lie. Fuck, dude, my legs are already fucking up. Now, according to Top Flats, and I saw the GOAT himself. Uh, Shit, what was his fucking name? C-Bum. He was like, "These are fucking GOAT." Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Boys, this is not good. Dude, this is so embarrassing. Yo, who the fuck was doing 90 kilos of this shit? Who the fuck hurt you, bro? How does this shit even work, bro? I don't even adjust this. This is why I don't do legs, bro. This is so complicated. Dude, I'm already in pain. After one workout. This is so unbelievably embarrassing. This is why you're not supposed to skip legs in workouts. Alright. So I say, obviously, we gotta go light with this shit. But I would like to know how the fuck you adjust this shit, bro. Oh, so we got oh shit handles over here. So that's not a good sign. Is this a twist? Oh, I'm a dumbass. Oh, I'm a dumbass. Wow, that was actually so much simpler than I thought. Oh. Can we just admit that this is a little crazy? Yo, pause. Pause. So I'm gonna start with, apparently these are good for your, like, I don't even know. Like, what is this shit even good for? Nothing, because you push pull a door. You don't legs a door. Man, fuck hitting legs. All right, we can't keep dissing forever. Start with 35 kilo. Because you're such a bitch. Fuck you. All right, fuck you. He's not that bad. Yeah. Never mind. I take it all back. It's already starting to burn. Oh god. This is so strange. Oh, dude. Oh fuck. And like I said, if anybody in the comments could really give me some pointers, that'd be fan freaking tastic. I really gotta stop cussing though. I really do. That's one of my goals. I want to start cussing a lot less. I want to get to a point where I don't cuss at all. All right. It's starting to get a little too light, so let's go 45. Oh fuck. All right. Frick. But yeah, no, I want to stop cussing because boy, do I cuss like a sailor, bro. I have a mouth of a sailor. It's not good. I want to be able to expand my vernacular. And I want to stop saying a lot. Oh my days. Oh, now I see why he put the handlebars in. It's really hard to oh shit handles. I mean, oh schnitzels. Oh, dude. I'm not gonna be able to walk right. I'm really not. Oh, dude. Oh, God. I'm scared I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm literally not gonna be able to move. Because you don't understand. I genuinely have not hit legs in so long. I think this is the first time me hitting legs since moving to Spain. No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. And I keep telling myself, it got to a point where I kept telling myself, I really gotta hit legs, I gotta hit legs, I gotta hit legs, my legs are shiny, I gotta hit legs, I gotta hit legs. But I just kept putting it off and kept putting it off and kept putting it off. And then I read somewhere that hitting legs actually boosts your testosterone. Your testosterone. And I'm not on testosterone. I would love to be on testosterone. But I want to stay natural. So, yeah. Okay, stop stalling. Let's put up this weight. 50 kilo. Here we go. I really hope I have my phone lasts long enough. Oh my god! Because this last time I checked, after spawning, it was at 11%. Dude, that was so embarrassing. That squat selection was embarrassing. How did I used to be able to do that for like 4 or 5 sets? I swear to you, I swear. When I first started going to the gym, I was like one of those dudes that did legs all the time. So I was like, I don't want to be one of those guys that skip legs all the time. Oh my god! And then, well, I landed on a bench. You know how it is. You know, Barbella really was holding me down on the bench. Oh god. Let's just do one more set, last set, and then we'll move on to leg extensions. Dude, this really hurts. How do people do this? How? I don't get it. And like genuinely enjoy this. 55 kilo. I'm not gonna be able to walk tomorrow. It's just not walking tomorrow. It's just not happening. It's just. All right, here we go.
So that was a complete disaster of a workout. My legs are actually I'm limping right now. I can't really walk correctly. This is so embarrassing. Deadass don't know if I'm gonna post this, but I committed to 75 hard, so therefore I have to. Dude. I knew this day was coming. I knew it was coming. But damn, like this, I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. Like this was a complete disaster at work. My mic died. My phone is on 5%. And I still haven't hit core. I finished leg extensions. And the whole workout that I used to do, I didn't complete it because my legs are actually in so much pain. So, this is the start. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. You know, we all got to start somewhere. At one point, you know, I remember the days where I could only bench. I couldn't even bench 135. I couldn't even bench a plate. I remember the day I benched a plate. I was with my gym bro. Dude, I miss my gym bro. I miss. I miss my homie back in the US. But I was with him. First time I hit 135, I benched the plate. Dude, it was such an achievement. It was a crazy achievement. Now, to most people, it'd be like, Nico, this is 135 pounds. It's actually very easy. You know what? To those people, I say, go fuck yourself, all right? I struggled. I remember the grind from the bar to 135. That was the craziest grind. And that's when I fell in love with the gym. So, yeah. And just like it was a grind to go from 0 to 225, same as for squatting. Oh my God, dude, how am I gonna get to church? I don't even know if you could have heard me while I was doing I don't even know at what moment my mic died. Dude, this is, So I didn't do my core workout, but that's okay, because I'm gonna do that when I get home, charge everything, record it, and I've decided, yes, I'm gonna post this video, despite how embarrassing it's probably gonna be. But like I said, we all start somewhere. We all have to start at 0, and it's just the hero's journey. Yeah, you feel me? Oh, dude. But it's all part of the experience, right? You have to be bad at something first in order to be good at something again. Oh, wait. In order to be good at something, you first have to be bad at it. You just cannot be afraid to start, in my opinion. It's like learning a language. Most people, when they start learning Spanish, they hit you with the hola, como estás. It's like, no. There is no H sound. There's no H. It's hola. You feel me? So, it's like with everything. It's like in life. You cannot be afraid to be judged. You cannot be afraid to be bad at something. You just can't be afraid. Because fear, the whole concept of fear is just to simply hold you back and keep you from keep you from doing the things that you want to do. Even at this moment. People are staring at me right now because I'm out here recording myself and talking in public, which is, in hindsight, strange. It's weird as shit. I get it. But I have goals that I want to achieve. I have dreams that I want to see come to life, come to fruition. And just like I said the other day, what are you willing to sacrifice in order for everything you ever wanted? Are you willing to be embarrassed? Are you willing to be bad at something first? Are you willing to, grind? Are you willing to push past the fear? Push past the fear of being judged, looked at weird, just be silently judged, get the weird looks, Sometimes even your own family, bro. Sometimes even your own people, they'll judge you and think that you're stupid, or think that it'll be your own friends sometimes. Be the people who are closest to you. But I think I think back to that one video where I remember that memory where I passed by the cemetery, and I thought to myself, I wonder how many of you thought you had more time. How many of those names that no one knows, that have just been forgotten because of time, right? I think to myself, what did you achieve? What did you, what are you remembered by? And that kind of sparked my curiosity to have a legacy, to even want to start something, right? Oh my God, dude, I can't walk. Dude, my legs are actually dying. This is so embarrassing. Oh God. But hey, you gotta practice what you preach, Also, I can't. Where the fuck are my keys? But oh well. I'll get back to you boys in a second because I think my phone is on like 2% now. But we're gonna get this shit. And we're gonna keep grinding. And we're gonna come back stronger and we're gonna try again. We're gonna keep trying until we fucking get it. Let's get it. Alright, we're back in the apartment, back in the Krivsky, and you know, clearly that was a disaster. Mike dead, little receiver dead. I'm gonna look back at the footage and it's gonna be so strange. Yeah, I don't even know if y'all could have heard me, but you know what? This video is still gonna go up. But there's one thing I wanted to read you that I read this morning that I think it was a funny coincidence. No, I don't even believe in coincidences. So I believe that God, and it's funny because in my Bible study today I read Proverbs. I'll just read it to you. For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fall by calamity. And my interpretation of that, I like to break things down a lot. Like it's just how my brain works. I like to break it down at a surface level and then really look into it and then extrapolate from there. So surface level, I said, a righteous man isn't righteous because he never falls, but because he refuses to stay down. It's the wicked who stumble once and give up. This is a verse about grit, resilience, and moral strength. And then what stood out to me the most about the verse, because it really I sat with it for a minute, it was the number 7. And if you're into numerology, and if you're not, if you believe in it, if you think it's mumbo jumbo, it's irrelevant. But the number 7 does come up a lot in the Bible. And the number 7 in scripture symbolizes completion, divine cycles, and spiritual testing. So falling 7 times implies falling through every type of challenge, temptation, fatigue, failure, shame, and still having enough fire in your soul to rise again. To rise again after total spiritual exhaustion is a form of resurrection. What I mean by that is that fire, you know, that fire, that soul, that solar energy is like, in my opinion, has always been like represented by the Holy Spirit, is your connection, your perception with your connection with God, right? And your resilience, because you know, he gives you the lesson first and then he teaches you the lesson. He gives you the test first and then gives you the lesson, right? That's how I like to see it, is that, you know, there cannot be a testimony without a test. So no matter what you're going through, you got to always be grateful. You always got to be happy. You got to always be content, because you got to think about it this way. God believes that you are strong enough to handle the situation. You can handle the bad things that are happening in your life right now. You got to almost be like happy that he looks at your life, he looks at you, and he says, this one can handle this much, this one can handle, because he has the strength in it. I see the strength in him, just he doesn't see it, he or she doesn't see it first, right? And he's just nudging you and pushing you towards that direction. You know, you can't ask for strength and then be so shocked when you're being confronted with really heavy burdens, right? You can't ask for wisdom and then be confronted with really impossible questions, really hard scenarios that really require you to think, right? And then took it a step further is, I like to look at things in a very psychological point of view too, because, well, I studied psychology and, well, I find it super interesting. And I think psychology and the Bible kind of play hand to hand, in my opinion. And I said, this is the ego death loop. The righteous man is the one actively integrating his shadow. Every fall represents a confrontation with your inner flaws, laziness, lust, fear, etc. And every rise is a step closer to your true self. The wicked and the fall, and therefore, the wicked avoid the fall, and therefore avoid the transformation. They stay fragmented. So it's almost that concept of the man-child, the concept of the man-child versus the integrated man, right? The man-child is this idea that he's just too afraid to confront everything he wants to confront, since he's still clinging
to his boyhood. He's still clinging to that sense of boyhood, right? And that can translate in other areas, especially in relationships and friendships and your work and who you are and what you do in your own time, right? Because the boy always has this concept that he's in control, that he has his own way, that he has time, this, that, and the other, and doesn't he's constantly clinging to that. And I believe when you are clinging to that boyhood, you're avoiding your transformation, you're avoiding the fall, you're doing everything you can to stay comfortable, you're doing everything you can to avoid to fall 7 times. But it's funny because after the 7th, 8th time that you get up, you achieve everything you want. You become the man you want to be, right? Just like today, I didn't want to confront the fact that it's just very surface levels, very, very small thing. But I've been putting off the idea of hitting legs for the longest time. And, I've been avoiding the idea and avoiding the discomfort of being bad at hitting legs, of, having to start at 0 again. But since today's day 1, since today I get to see my progress, I get to see the progression, I get to fall in love with the gym again, right? Because I hit this plateau and I realized that, like, okay, well, it's because you've been avoiding legs, bro. Like, come on, it's the one body part that you should be hitting, but you just completely kept avoiding, kept putting off. And my fear was the discomfort of legs. And after a certain point, I can't be afraid of the discomfort when I'm chasing discomfort, right? When I'm chasing, because I know through the discomfort, through the fire, through being forged and refined, I can achieve the man I want to be. I can achieve the man that I want to become. Not just the physical, but the mental, the spiritual, the emotional intelligence, all of it. It's just a lot more than just hitting legs. It's to be able to look at myself and say, I acknowledge the fear. I acknowledge the fact that I do not want to hit legs, or I do not want to do this thing, but I'm going to get it done because it translates in other areas in life. I'm lazy. I feel the laziness right now. I acknowledge my laziness, but despite how I feel, I'm going to get this done, right? And so, and I don't want to stay fragmented at the end of the day, right? So, and it's funny because I read that in Proverbs, and then I read my 10 pages, right? It's so funny. And what I wanted to read was just this line that really stuck with me. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. So, despite the setbacks of today, I kept going. I kept wanting to do it. And, even yesterday, I could have easily just said, fuck it. I already fucked up. Cuss less. You couldn't even hear it in the video where I was saying that I wanted, it's a goal of mine that I wanted to cuss a lot less, and I wanted to expand my vernacular, and I do not want to, have such a dirty mouth. But it's very funny that I read that in Proverbs and then read that in my book. And I do not believe in coincidences. I do not believe in that. I believe everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that everything has an order to, everything has a plan. God has a plan for you. It doesn't matter if what you're going through is ideal or not, if it's comfortable, uncomfortable, whatever it is. In so much shape or form, it is to grow you, And growth is supposed to be uncomfortable. And I could have easily quit and be like, you know what? Forget it. I didn't record yesterday because I was too uncomfortable with the idea of being judged, and I didn't want anyone looking at me. I didn't want the attention of everyone around me. But as I was saying on the way home, is that I can't let that judgment hold back me, hold back my dreams, hold back my achievements, hold back what I want to see for myself, right? It's uncomfortable to have those eyes. It's uncomfortable to have those moments of people judging you silently and just looking at you. But what's worse? The acceptance of being like everyone else,
but at the cost of all your hopes, dreams, aspirations. Because, you know, everything comes at a cost. If you want to be comfortable, if you want to be accepted by everybody, if you do not want to be judged, if you're afraid of being judged, you sacrifice your dreams. You sacrifice everything you want. But if you sacrifice the fear of being judged and you just say, you know what, screw it, I don't care, I'm gonna do it anyway, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna show out, I'm gonna record myself, do this, do whatever, even at a job, you know, I'm gonna be the best, I'm gonna, you know, whatever it is, it doesn't matter in any area in life that you're at, you can apply that in everything. You know, like, I want to be different, I want to stand out. You know, at first for me it started with waking up at 4:25, and you know, everyone looked at me differently when I say that. Like, yeah, I do wake up at 4:25. I wake up early. I like to start my day off reading. I like to start my day off getting my mind in the right frequency, and then I like going to the gym. And then I added another layer, and you know, I'm starting to record myself, you know, be comfortable in front of the camera, be comfortable recording myself in public. You know, not caring so much about what other people think. And it's good for me. I've noticed that it's really, really good for me because I get to look back at the videos. I get to look back and reflect, and I get to point out my flaws. I get to everything that I overlooked, everything that I did not see, everything that I'm, you know, my shadow traits that, you know, constantly just pop out. For example, I did not notice how much I said like in general until I started rewatching my videos, and then I realized, I came to the realization, and I catch myself when I'm about to say like or and then I take a moment. You know, I even realized my tonality. I started realizing how fast I speak sometimes, how sometimes I can ramble a little bit, and I can point it out. I starting to be more conscious, and I think it's so important, so important to constantly reflect, constantly look back, and, you know, take notes. It's okay to be critical of yourself if there is a solution. You know, I fell into I fell into the trap of constantly being my biggest critic, but with no solution. And what does that mean? Like, see, I did it again. But what I mean is, I would notice my flaws. I would see the things that I'm not proud of. I would see the things that I would be so hard on myself on, and be very judgmental of myself, and not give myself any break, and then have no solution. I would sit there and kind of mope about it. Be like, you know, I would compare myself. I would be like, I would have the desire to be someone who can articulate himself in a better way. I would have the desire to be able to show up every day at the gym, just by how I'm feeling. I would have the desire to hit legs, but I would keep putting it off. And you know, it gets to a point where you have all these things stockpiling in front of you that it kind of feels a little overwhelming. And you sort of fall into this mental trap of not doing anything. I remember I had this long list of flaws, like this long mental list of all of my flaws, all of these things that I'm not okay with myself. And I sort of, it kind of hit a block. I kind of hit a mental block because it was so overwhelming. I didn't know where to start, didn't know which one to start. The problem was, all I had to do was just pick one and start, because you pick one, you master that, and then you go on to the next one, then you go on to the next one, you go on to the next one, go on to the next one, go on to the next one, and you start like checking things off, and you start to realize that it really isn't that hard. It isn't hard to stick to a diet. It's not hard to go to the gym. Sure, there are days that you do not want to. There are days where you feel like laying in bed, where you feel like sleeping in, where you feel like having that cupcake. However, when you start to reflect and you start to be conscious of all of your flaws, when the desire arises, when the desire presents itself, the negative desire that you know you shouldn't, you catch yourself and you ask yourself, is this going to improve me? Is this going to further me? Or is this going to hold me back? Right? And that is something I've been so grateful for, that I've become so conscious. I've become very aware and self-aware of my own actions, that, you know, I can't help but be grateful for the changes in my life. I can't help but be grateful for the solitude, you know. And at first it sucked. At first I hated it. But I wouldn't be who I am today without it. And it is true, when you're struggling and when you hit that ego death and that moment of truly humiliate yourself, and that truly humbling feeling where you have to look in the mirror. You can't point any fingers. You can't blame anybody. You can try to blame the world. You can try to cope. You can try to lie to yourself and pretend that it's everyone's fault. Oh, it's because what I went through in 2012. It's because of my ex. It's because of my parents. It's because of my situation. Sure, like, a lot of those things can become a factor. However, there has to be a point in your life where you say, you know what, I forgive everyone, every person that has wronged me, every person that has lied to me, manipulated me, gaslit me, that tried to tell me that I'm dumb, that try to tell me that my path is wrong. I forgive them. I forgive it, and I let it go. And in doing that, you can reflect on yourself, and you can look at the situation objectively and say, hey, you know what? Where did I go wrong? You know, where did I mess up? You know, let's stop blaming others and start taking some accountability. Where did I go wrong in my own actions? Right? And reflection is so powerful. It truly is. Because you start to realize how many times you quit at something. You said that you would start something and you quit. You know, just because it got hard, just because it sucked, just because you were bad at it at first, you quit. Right? For example, when I was younger, in middle school and in high school, I played violin. And I loved it. I loved playing the violin. And I've actually been considering to pick it back up again, because I miss it. I miss playing the violin. It was something that was a huge part of my life. And, you know, I just kept getting better and better and better and better. You know, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I was really good at it. It was something I truly enjoyed. High school came, I continued to enjoy it. I continued orchestra, and, you know, I loved it. And, you know, I even played a little viola, and I tried the cello, and I wanted to play the bass. You know, the little, you know, those things are cool as hell. I truly enjoyed it. It was truly something that was fun to me. It was play. And I unfortunately quit. You know, and it wasn't that I was bad. I wasn't. But it was something that to this day, I wish I hadn't quit. And it's something that I kind of hold against myself, because I wonder how far I could have taken it. I wonder to myself what I could have done with that, you know? And it's true what I read, you know? A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits, right? Because a winner is just somebody who just got up again, you know, just fell 7 times and got up an 8th, right? You know, it's just the mindset that you have to have. It's the ideas and the desires that you have that influence whether you're a loser or a winner, right? There are no losers at all. If you really think about it, I don't think anybody is truly at their core a loser. Like, in order to be a loser, you have to try. Like, you have to really try to be a loser, right? Because I don't believe that you're bad at everything. I don't believe that. There has to be something you're good at. If you can make people laugh, you're funny, right? If you can strike up a conversation with anybody, you're charismatic. You know how to, articulate. So there's always something that you're good at. Even if you're bad at something, if you quit, therefore, yeah, you're a loser. At first, when I started hitting the gym, I quit. There were so many times that I kept quitting and quitting because of the same fear. This fear of being judged, a fear of like being so in my head of people like staring at me and thinking to myself, I'm doing this wrong. People are staring at me like, I feel like I'm doing this wrong, and then I'm just in my head about it, and I quit. There have been so many times where I started and quitted, and start and quit the gym. Until I finally said to myself, no, my dream physique will never come to fruition until I go to the gym. Until I gotta just swallow the pride, go in, not care about what other people think, and just go in for me, right? And it's the exact same thing with recording. Day one, I was just worried about what other people thought. You can look back at the footage. It's like, is it really that weird if I'm recording myself? Who cares? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, they're living their own individual lives. I'm living mine. Whether they judge me or not doesn't matter. Because I'm willing to try something different. I'm willing to push past the fear of being judged, to push past the idea of people staring at me, and not quit. But yeah, I think that was a very good lesson today that I learned. That's really funny that I read that in Proverbs. I read that in Think and Grow Rich, and that happens. I don't know. Like most people would have, just said, screw it. My phone's on 15%. I'm not even gonna go to the gym. I still showed up. I didn't want to hit I didn't want to hit legs. I did it anyway. I was bad at it. You can look back in the footage, like I'm a little embarrassing, dog. But it's okay. Because we have a day one, we have a start, we have a beginning. And then we're gonna be better and just get better and better and better. And that idea of getting better at something is exciting. It's a new beginning. And it's up to me whether or not I get good at it. It's up to me. And it's also up to me if I quit. And sorry, but I'm a winner. I don't quit. So I gotta read that. Gotta read it to you one more time. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. Dude, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna write that on my mirror, bro. Something like read that every day. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. It's true. But anyway, I'm gonna wait till my phone charges a little more. I'm gonna charge up my mic and stuff, and we still gotta do the core workout. I don't really need the gym for it. I could just do it here. Yeah, my legs are it's not a joke. My legs hurt, and I'm kind of worried because I bike 45 minutes to church and 45 minutes back, and there's like these 3 massive hills and bridges. It's a whole thing. But I consider that as my outdoor workout. So yeah. Anyway, let's get it.